Hello, boils and ghouls. You are now tuned in to PVD Horror Podcast. Pleasant screams.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to PVD Horror. I'm Dave. Today, I'm very excited. We got a large panel of guests here, or a little bit bigger than usual. So joining me today, I have three excellent guests. I got Jeff Descoteaux, returning guest, indie filmmaker, producer, all that good stuff. I got John Fiore from so many good works, Sopranos, Chappaquiddick. I'm not even going to be able to do you justice, John. I apologize. You can mention more, but super honored to have you on here. Thank you. And Brett Wagner, the Crazies, Chrome Skull 2, and also known as the Lost Leatherface, which I would love to dig into if you'll chat about that at some point. But today we're here to talk about an upcoming film that they're working on called Shiver, Slaying All Night, which is written and directed by Robert Resto. And we will give you all the details on that and what we're looking to hopefully help push. So just to start off, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
Of course.
Yeah, Dave. Dave, I noticed behind you, I see like a Jason mug and something else, and I see nothing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Shame on you, young man. Shame on you.
Right here. I just don't have it. I don't have it displayed yet, but yes.
All right, hold on now.
Oh man.
There we go. That's
all right,
perfect.
I stand corrected.
Leatherface is definitely one of my favorites. He's also on my arm too. So yeah, he holds a special place in my heart. So you guys got together to work on this project, and Jeff, maybe you can just kind of walk me through, just starting off with what is Shiver, Slaying All Night, and how did this cast come about?
Well, Shiver, Slaying All Night, it all started with my good friend Rob Resto, who is also mutuals with John here. Myself and John and Rob have worked together on two previous projects together. So Rob had written this script a while back, maybe about a year and a half ago, and it was, it was a winter setting horror slasher. With a little bit of a Christmas theme to it as well. So obviously the timing had to be right to make a movie like this. You can't do it in spring, summer, or fall, and you need snow to do it. So at the time in the summer of 2024, I had told him that I was pretty committed with other stuff for the end of the year. And a film of this kind of magnitude, I felt like needed like the right timing, and you didn't want to rush something like this. We had to get the right locations, also the proper crew, the proper cast, and here we are, almost at the end of the year here, and we're prepared to go in January. All in. One thing I'm really proud of is that this is going to be filmed in my home state of New Hampshire, and all of it, and yeah. We have some great locations. We have we're excited to have the fans just see this, great lighting, snow, mountains, cabins. It's a little bit of an homage to 80s slashers. We're taking it back to that, even though it's going to be in present time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're super excited. The biggest hang up for me as a producer, is trying to lock down certain locations that this script had. And the big thing that was hanging out for a while was trying to acquire a ski mountain and resort. Because we're not a big budget film. It's indie film. So it just needed the right
in the middle of their busy season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they're all like, yeah, sure, we'll shut down for a couple of days. So, yeah, I can imagine that's a challenge.
Because it doesn't work. If there's in the summertime or the fall when there's no snow, and some other some other mountains were asking us if we could wait until March, and it's a possibility. But New England weather, as you know, Dave and John. I mean, like you never know what you're going to get sometimes, even in January. But a lot of these mountains have snowmaking machines, and it sounds to me like I've got some friends already up north, and it's already snowing up there.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll have to worry about that. But we acquired a ski mountain and lodge and resort. I'm super excited about that.
Very cool.
So yeah.
So John and Brett, you guys obviously got attached to this film. What drew you to it? What got you, involved in the first place?
Well, I've known Jeff. I worked with Jeff, as he mentioned, and Rob, and I've worked with Jeff on some other projects. And then Jeff had mentioned this to me, like he mentioned a while back. And of course, I was interested. I haven't done a ton of horror. I like to. To me, acting, a gig is a gig, whatever. But I like it. I'm glad that I'm getting an opportunity to do a little bit more of it lately as I get older, which is a lot of fun. And I like this premise when he told me about it. I like the character. I'm going to play Dr. Wilson. I don't get to be a doctor too often these days. So no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Be part of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, Jeff's going to have to help me because I was at a convention up in Massachusetts and I saw a flyer. Jeff, help me out with that director who directed Never Hike Alone in the Woods.
Vincent DiSanti.
So Vincent DiSanti, and then what's the young lady's name that's also in the movie that was there? Is it Ari?
Ari Mnemonic. That's her.
Yeah, so Ari Mnemonic, Dave, a very beautiful girl, talented girl, and DiSanti's a very talented director, and they both had these flyers. I said Shiver, and I was like, "Oh, that's a great name. I love that." Right there it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
And
I had it ready.
I saw. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just saying I had it ready
flyer.
to go.
Yeah, I saw that flyer, and I've always, wanted to work with Vincent and on something, and I said, man, I gotta. Who's doing this? Who's doing this movie? And then they said, well, one of the producers will be here in a little bit. And there came in, and we talked and we chatted, and I said, man, I'd love to do this. I've been acting for a long time, and I got into acting because I loved horror movies, and that's why I became an actor, because I thought that, one of these days I'm going to be able to get into some horror movies. And, I've been acting a long time. And although I've done, some horror work, maybe, 10 or 11 projects over the years, I have been lucky enough to get some good stuff and play Leatherface for, a scene or two in the 2003 remake. And, as my partner over there said, as you get older, it's nice that I like to work, right? So I want to work. I don't care what it is. And
it's nice to be thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to just
phone call, direct phone call, no bullshit, no auditions, no this, no that. That's an extra treat to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which makes it even more, just the whole situation's relaxed. You feel good. That's why it's going to be a great project, because when the people like each other and it feels like family, you're doing it seriously as a team.
Yeah.
And it's a low budget kind of community that you want to lift each other and make this thing really special. And that's what I feel about this. I'm excited to do it. I just hope my scenes are indoors, Jeff. I don't want to freeze my balls off. Unless I'm by the fireplace.
John, you got to be used to this weather by now, man.
And some nice.
Wait, what kind of doctor are you?
Very dubious medical doctor. Not a
primary care.
Primary care. Yeah, I'm a primary care doctor. Yeah, I was Vincent's doctor when he was young, the poor child, and I experimented with him on some let's call it dubious medication that sent him downward trajectory, shall we say? So I'm trying to find him.
I freaking love this already. And Brett, you are labeled as the role of Santa Claus.
Yeah, imagine that. 6'5", 340 pounds. Yeah,
I feel like you might have got stereotyped or typecasted for that one. You should complain. Maybe why didn't you get the doctor role?
it's fine to play Santa Claus. I was really excited too, because there's some guys that are going to be in the movie. They're going to be working with me that I know very well that I've never got to work with, like Martin Klebba.
Yeah.
He's been in everything, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's been in everything, every movie there is. And then also we have some other, horror movie royalty with I think he's still in the movie. Is he not, Jeff?
Warrington.
Yeah. Warrington Gillette.
Yep, we have Warrington Gillette that will be playing a ski patrol officer.
And for everybody that Warrington Gillette, Jason from Friday Part 2, right?
2.
Yeah, Part 2.
So that's very exciting.
Yeah. So, to be able to I see a lot of these guys. I'll see Marty. I see Warrington. In fact, I was with Warrington in Germany, and Jeff got a hold of him. We were doing a convention in Germany, and by the end of our German vacation signing autographs, Warrington was added to the cast. So
that's awesome.
Look, I've done a lot of indie films, over the last couple of years, and sometimes you get really good actors in them, and sometimes you don't, and it's still work, and you have a good time. We got a really good chance with a lot of really good seasoned actors that are going to be in this project, and it's if folks are lucky enough to get in the movie and do some work with us, you're working with a lot of professionals, and it's always nice to work with someone that's a professional that knows what they're doing, and it makes it a little easier, and you get to have more of a good time and don't have to stress as much. The same with the crew. If the crew is seasoned and they've done stuff a lot before, it makes it a little easier and it makes it a little funner. So I'm pretty excited to get out there, and not so much the snow. Hopefully Santa Claus, I'm not going in any chimneys, but yeah, I'm pretty excited.
That's amazing. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. So we were at one of PVD Horror's movie screenings. I think we were screening for St. Patrick's Day Leprechaun in Space, and you
Yep.
arrived. Was that this year or last year?
I was at the one it's weird I can remember this because I was at the one for In the Hood.
Oh, In the Hood.
And then,
that's right. That was last
And then
year.
I showed up for the Jason X one with Vincent.
Oh, all right. So maybe it was Jason X,
DiSanti.
and that's when you were first talking to us about this film. So I've kind of known about this film and that you were working on this, and you were very excited for quite a while now. So to see it like start to actually come true, getting casting and all this is like, this is just really cool. And this is a part that I love like having this connection to friends who are filmmakers and producers, and just being able to see how things start and then where they end up. It's a very cool process to be able to pay witness to. And it's cool when the people that are on the project are as excited about the project as, the people creating it. So Brett and John, the fact that you guys are sitting here telling me how excited you are to be able to do this is really cool for me, just to see that. And, I'm, big supporter of Jeff. So I'm really hoping this project, it goes in the direction. And I just love all the local connections about this film too. So John, you're from Boston, right?
Yeah, I am now a New Hampshire native, not a native, but I live there now. I'm from Boston. I spent 99% of my life growing up in Boston, but I am now in New Hampshire. I'm a masshole, as they say up here. Right?
You are.
I'm a true masshole if there ever was one. I call myself in the witness protection program up where I live.
Yeah.
Although southern New Hampshire is kind of like Mass in a way, so it's a little bit different, but it's far enough away that I do feel, for me, that I truly live in New Hampshire now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is weird. Sometimes I go, where do you live? People say, where do you live? I go, New Hampshire. I guess I live in New Hampshire.
I never thought it would be the case. Vincent,
used to break balls of people who lived in New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly. we got Vincent as a part of this project. Vincent's right around the corner from us. He comes to a lot of our events and stuff. Right. So it's cool that he's linked up with this.
Here's what I want. I just say one thing. So, these horror conventions you mentioned and so forth, which are great. Incredibly, as a soprano, I've snuck my way in over the years to a few here and there.
Sure.
Primarily horror, but they'll let some other people in, kind of thing. Whatever.
Always.
But I met the guy. What's the guy with the spikes coming out of his face? What's that movie?
You met Doug Bradley.
Doug.
Yeah.
I sat across from him at Chilla Theater many years ago. And of course, he had the line going around the corner, yeah. The pictures. He goes, "Hey, man, you got to get yourself a horror film. You can do this shit forever." So I'm counting on Shiver to be that one. And I need to get every fucking horror thing in the world.
Are you telling me Sopranos doesn't get that draw though? Because I feel like they got such a loyal fan base.
Yeah, no, so that's a different kind of convention. You know, I'll go to some of them, you know, and but they're not as rabid, I would say, in a strange way, as the horror crowd. You know, which is so diehard, so right? From what I've seen.
It's a whole different animal. I mean, you for the longest time, you know, San Diego Comic-Con, the Comic-Cons were the big deal. And then they started watching over the last couple of years, you know, I would say the last, 10 to 15 years, the horror movie conventions have grown so rapidly. And when you have Scarefest in Kentucky and 65,000 people are coming, and there's 100 guests, and it's a 3-day event, and you get to do some of these other conventions that, but there's toy stores to sign at. There's so much stuff to sign at, and a lot of the major Comic-Cons now see have the value in the actors that have been in the horror movies and that whole crowd, and they want to get that crowd in as well as the anime crowd, the voiceover people. So it's Shiver is going to get you there, John. And, we're going to be signing together right next to each other.
I used to go to Spooky World in Massachusetts. You know Spooky World, right? Famous. Your friend owned the place, David Bertolino. We're still very close friends. He lives in Los Angeles now. But that's how I started out. And I'd be sitting next to Linda Blair, Elvira.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Randomly. Then some other, this guy, that guy, whatever. But no, it's great, though. What I like about these conventions and signings for actors, which really blew up, the last 10, 15 years, maybe these things started like this. It's really been a nice little boost for the actor to make a few extra dollars here and there. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's great.
I love it.
You live on forever in some way, and that within all that, you can have one role. Like there's actors who have one role, and they're somehow able to stretch that over years and years because people just love that one role, and I think that's amazing for them.
Well, what's good about the convention thing is, too, in between gigs, acting gigs, say, have you been working lately? You go, no, but I've done a bunch of appearances. And sometimes it's vice versa and whatever. But it just kind of keeps everything busy, everything moving along. Meeting people, the whole bit. It keeps it all moving. So I love it, I'm all for all of it.
There's and also as far as filmmakers as well too, it's not just you get directors, you get producers, you get a lot of the people, and I'm sure Jeff will, once this movie is ready to go, we're going to be at some conventions and we're going to have booths at the conventions and we're going to be talking about the movie, and it's a great way for young filmmakers, people that are just getting into the business to be able to showcase and and let that crowd, that horror movie crowd, to know that, hey, this movie is going to be coming out and this is who's in it, and back there sitting right there at the table signing, go say hello. And it's a great avenue because a lot of the conventions are partnered up with a film festival, so they work hand in hand, and it's a good deal.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Jeff, obviously, one of the bigger ones in our neck of the woods now is Silver Scream. So hopefully we'll be seeing some of these guys at Silver Scream at that point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Spencer of Ice Nine Kills, he's knocked it out the park with Silver Screen now at DCU in Worcester. Yeah, and that's it's
Silver
incredible
what he's done with
that.
UK. They're going to do a UK show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Brett, I got to ask you. So I think it's fascinating hearing a little bit about that lost Leatherface, and you referred to it earlier. Would you give our viewers and listeners a little bit of the background of how that title came about?
Sure. So, I think it was early 2003. They were casting. I've been acting a long time in LA, and I'd done a few horror gigs up until that point, a couple of Buffy and Angel. And one day I saw that they were looking for a local hire to play Leatherface in Texas for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And I'm like, a local hire? They're going to waste this gig on some guy who used to play for the Dallas Cowboys and now he's retired, or they're going to find some bouncer at some strip club or some bodyguard for somebody out there, and they're going to hire that guy. And I was so bummed. And I went in for an audition one day for commercials. And if you go in for commercial auditions in LA, they're going to have, in room 1, it'll be Doritos. In room 2, it's going to be Ford. And room 5, it said TCM. And I was like, what? It can't be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because I knew that it was pretty much all cast. And I called my commercial agent and I said, hey, can you call over that commercial agent? I think we booked a beer commercial with her years ago, and see if they've already cast Leatherface. And they said no. She said, if Brett wants to come in tomorrow, I'll put him on camera. So I went in the next day. I went and bought some gigantic suit from the Salvation Army, and I was giant. I was 360 pounds, doing pro wrestling at the time. And I was all excited to do this audition. And she said, what do you want to do? I said, just roll the camera. And I kind of poured my heart out to Michael Bay. And I said, look, you don't want to waste this gig on some bozo out there in Texas. Leatherface was a big, meaty son of a bitch. It's going to be hard to do what Gunnar Hansen did. However, I am up for the job. And I picked up the casting assistant that was sitting there on the camera and threw over my shoulder. And I think he yelped a little bit. And I said, I'll see you in Texas. Next day, casting director calls, says, Michael Bay thought you were funny and you got the gig. And I was like, holy crap. I called 1 million people. R.A. Mihailoff first, who played Leatherface in part 3. And half hour later, she called back and said, don't tell anybody, by the way. And I was like, oh, great. Flash forward. 3 months later, we're filming in Texas. And I was there for about a week, doing little odds and ends and getting the costume and everything, with Marcus Nispel, our director, getting it so he liked it and perfect. And the first really big day of shooting for me was this the first time you see Leatherface in the movie, and Kill Kemper with the sledgehammer, Eric Balfour dragging him through the house. That costume was so hot that after, maybe, I don't know, a couple hours of doing some stuff, I fell down and I said, I got to take a break. So I went outside and drank 7 Gatorades, but I had a heat stroke. And when you get heat stroke or heat exhaustion, your body needs water. My muscles did not have that water at the point. So my back seized up, and I finished the day filming. I had to slam that door shut, which Gunnar Hansen made so famous. Yeah. And then went to the hospital, and then, the next day they asked me, bottom line, the producers, how long is it going to take? And I've, hurt my back before. So I said about a week. And every day I would call transportation for 3 days. You pick anybody up? No. You pick anybody up? No. On the third day, we picked up this big, loud steroid guy. And I was like, oh, crap.
Damn.
And I knew like a couple hours later they came and, sorry, man, but we had to replace you. So I never talked about it. Because to me, I was very ashamed of about the part that I got a gig of a lifetime to play Leatherface, and then I was gone, in a week. It was done. So I didn't talk about it in some of the magazines. Finally, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, Horror Hound magazine, and some other people started talking. There was another guy who played Leatherface, and in that movie. And then I started doing some interviews, and I started doing some conventions, and some of the fans didn't know there was another guy that was originally cast and did a couple parts in the movie. So they would call me, he's the lost Leatherface. Yeah. I was like, oh man, I'll run with that. I'll run with that gimmick.
Yeah.
And then, it's come full circle, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been on the circuit. We call it, the con life. And getting to hang out with all the guys that have played Leatherface and doing the panels and reunions and stuff like that. So I've come to grips with it. I got to be play Leatherface, for God's sakes. Not many. There's maybe 9 of us that can say that. And there's only about 9 guys that can say that. And I think 3 of them have passed away. So we just lost Bob Elmore from part 2, he was such a good guy. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. But you also have to look at it that that's not the end of it, right? If that was the end of it, then I would be like, okay, great. But I love to act, and I love to do characters, and I love to get under makeup. So, we're excited about this new project, Shiver.
Absolutely.
So,
and just to clarify, the scene that you were able to film is that scene made the film, right? That's the scene we see.
Yeah, it's the first scene in the film. The first time you see Leatherface, that's me. I kill Kemper with a sledgehammer, drag him through the house, and then slam the door. So
it's a great scene.
I still get those residual checks, which is nice.
Yeah. And I was thinking earlier, I was talking about all the tie-ins to New England with John and Jeff, and Brett. One of your tie-ins here as well is you worked on Chrome Skull 2. And Chrome Skull is played by a buddy of mine, Nick Principe, who is from Rhode Island, and he actually was literally just texting me yesterday.
Yeah, John's worked with him too.
Oh, you know Nick as well. Times. Yeah, he's done so many projects, and I'm a huge Chrome Skull fan, so that I think it's cool. And you were also in the Crazies remake, which I actually really liked. So it's quality over quantity in so many ways.
100%.
So very cool. And I love the Lost Leatherface nickname. I would go with it, like you said. Just go and run with it. It's kind of fun. Yeah,
it's good. Look at. I mean, we can talk about, and I'm sure me and John both can talk about, our stints on Hannah Montana and other stuff. But as an actor, look at it. We love the work. Yeah. Sons of Anarchy. But if I get to do the stuff that I really love, which is the horror genre, then it even makes it better.
Yeah. And John, you've done a ton of TV too. So for you, do you prefer the movie life, or is TV kind of comparable in any way?
Well, the TV's fast moving. If you get on a series or whatever, it's a moving train. They got it all going on. For the most part, the days move along. I like the movies. I like independent movies. I like the atmosphere, the closeness, the smallness of the group. I find it more relaxing. I just love the way the work turns out. I always like the way the work turns out for the most part, but just that whole in-between time when it's with a small bunch and like I said before, everybody's pulling together. That's what I like. At this stage, the work is the work. I'll take it, whatever. But this is what I like to do. I've been fortunate enough lately to do a bunch of moderate budget, mid-budget movies that kept me busy, kept me happy, kept me going. And that's all I ask for, just a chance to do the stuff. I don't differentiate between a $10 million movie, 500,000 movie, 100, whatever. The work is the work. Take pride. That's going to be us up there. So we want it to be the best it can possibly be.
Absolutely.
No matter. So
and John, I also got to
that bullshit.
I got to give you a shout out. You were in the Brotherhood, the show. Was that Showtime or was that HBO? I think it was Showtime. Showtime. I love that show. That was like all Rhode Island mafia, like mob stuff. We ate that up here.
They had to pull the plug on it. At that time, Showtime was HBO's little brother.
Yeah.
My theory was always like Showtime became bigger, of course, as we know, as the years have gone on. But if it was the Showtime of now or the last few years, the Brotherhood would have stayed on, I think.
Yeah.
Or if at that time that show was on HBO, it would have stayed on. It just kind of got lost. Everybody loved it. I loved it. Cass loved it, but it wasn't doing the numbers.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It was such a good show.
It wasn't doing it.
Yeah, it was such a good show. Ethan Embry, I think, was in season 1 at least. Oh, great cast in it. Right. Yeah. That if people are listening and they haven't watched Brotherhood, you guys got to watch that.
It's an easy watch too, because season 1 was 10 episodes.
Yeah,
then like 8 or whatever, and the third season, I don't know, may have been like 7 episodes or whatever. Yeah. Down, but it was a great show.
So, Jeff, kind of rounding everything off, we have a Kickstarter for Shiver. So do you want to speak to that a little bit? Tell people kind of what that's all about, what's the goal here?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you guys probably know, as everybody knows, I mean, this is indie film life. A lot of it is a grind. A lot of it is a hustle. I've been working hard, and we've all been, myself, Rob, the director, the other producers, trying to, get investors, get sponsorships, and stir up a crowdfunder online too, where it's a help me help you type of situation where fans have the opportunity to back us. They can get some pretty killer swag, whether it be like sweatshirts, hats. Our Kickstarter right now, we have some cool keychains, ornaments. We have some sick like movie slates that are available. But if you want to come on as even like a producer and get your feet wet, you can do that. But we also have, we need to fill a ski lodge with some background actors. So, for a generous donation, you can come on and you can meet John, meet Brett, meet Marty Klebba, meet Warrington, meet Vinny DiSanti. Take those pictures, rub elbows, and it's a fun time. And so right now the crowdfunder has been going on through Kickstarter. We have about 2 weeks left on it right now, but we busted through 10K so far in our first 2 weeks.
Nice.
So it's been gaining a lot of traction. Like I said, this is very. I always say, like, for me, and I've been only doing this for about 6 years now, and but I got my first start with Rob on his set of Z Dead End that John was on, and then we did another project, John and myself and Rob, and it just, you network, you meet new friends, you work with old friends, you meet more new friends, and it just and a lot of this for me is a lot of on the job training. I never. I did some theater in high school and a little bit in community college, and but I never really dabbled too far as in school, learning all this stuff behind the scenes as far as what it takes to be a producer. But in my time now, it's led me to this project here, which I always say the next one's always the big one for me. So This is the big one. And I'm damn proud to have this cast, have the crew that we have, and I'm honored to be putting together this in my home state, and maybe John's now new home state of New Hampshire. And I think we've got something really good here. I really do. We're doing something a little bit different from a lot of other indie film projects where we're asking a lot of our cast and crew. John, Brett, bundle up, but buckle up. But it's going to be fun. A lot of this is going to be outside. It
sounds like, damn it.
Well, Jeff, you're not over. How old are you, Jeff?
48.
Okay, so you're not even over that 50. You're not even over 55 yet. When you get past 55. Your bones, they chill a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not easy to warm up. But we'll do our best. Now look, it's people don't realize how hard it is. People sometimes think, they did a movie for $40,000. It must have been easy. It's not.
No. Yeah.
Put a project together. It's not very easy. And people think sometimes, because they see these movies and you see that, well, I saw this movie on Tubi and I know they raised this amount. It's not that easy to put a movie together. It's not that easy to get everybody, get the actors you want. It's not that easy to find the locations, as Jeff has found out. And it knows that it's a tough thing to put something together.
Yeah.
But what's great about this genre is that there's a lot of places that movie can fall. There's so many streaming platforms right now that are all looking for content, that getting involved with this Kickstarter, getting your name out there and, helping make this project go, it goes a long way. And you're going to be able to see that thing that you helped with, or you acted on, or you helped behind the scenes with. And it's going to it's going to find a home. And there's plenty of homes to find with this. So it's a good project to get involved with. It has a lot of people on it, the Vincent DiSantis and everybody else who have, raised $350,000 and put out movies with, Tom Matthews, a good friend of mine, and put out stuff that people have seen all over the place. So rest assured, if you do get involved with Shiver, that it's going to go places.
Amazing. That's the pitch right there, Jeff. That's the pitch. It's going to go places.
That's it. Yeah.
It's going to go places.
With a name like Shiver, you can just picture Shiver 1, 2,
right.
3.
Yeah.
It's so seamless. It's born for sequels already. Just title alone is very conducive.
I love it.
For that.
The prequel. We got them all, and Jeff's got them all in his back pocket.
I do. Yeah.
So
Shiver. If we ever get to like 8, it'll be, Shiver Aloha in Hawaii or something.
And Dave, you can look at right now, you look at stuff like The Terrifier, right? Done on the first couple, part 2 was completely crowdfunded, man. Yeah. And if you would have told me as an actor, if I would have been paying attention, I would have gladly donated some money to that project, not only to be in it, but to, to donate some because that stuff right now, all that stuff, and you see what happened with Terrifier 2. It became so big that they got 3 done, and now they're going to do the last one, part 4, coming up.
Yeah,
they don't have to they didn't have to crowdfund 3 or 4.
Yeah,
but
you're
given that opportunity, and this stuff becomes so big and so. I have a good feeling that Shiver, we're going to do. It's going to be great. It's going to, there's a lot of professionals on it. Hopefully, John and me won't die in the snow.
No.
No frostbite. No frostbite. All right.
Listen.
So everybody needs to check out this Kickstarter. They need to go to this Kickstarter. We got 14 days if they want to be a part of it. But even after that, Jeff, right? They can still support the film, I'm assuming.
I believe the way Kickstarter works, this might be a question for Rob because, but we had to switch gears. I don't want to knock a different company, but
a lot of us know about that. Yeah,
but we were set to go on a different platform. That platform has now changed a lot of their rules and regulations on what you can and cannot do. We honestly got crushed because our crowdfunder was hanging in limbo for weeks without an approval, which never happened to anything that I've been a part of. So we had to switch gears fast because the thing is that we're asking for some donations and to help and what we have written on script. Sometimes in indie film life, what's on those pages doesn't happen on the film because you don't have the money for it, or you run out of time, or things have to be altered, switched up, off-screen kills, which is I hate that unless it's really effective. But we have a high kill count in this movie. We have a great effects crew that I believe John's worked with in the past. Necro Effects, Jade Figueroa of Necro Effects. So we're proud to have them on board. But yeah, it's if you want to go to Shiver_slaying all night, which is the Instagram page, you'll see the link is right in the bio. You can click that on Kickstarter, brings you right there. You can click over to rewards, see what we have to offer. Even if you don't want a perk, you can just make a pledge. And I always tell people, you know what, $5, $10, $15. Honestly, with what we do, that stuff adds up and it means a lot because I've been on sets where craft services, especially 40 packs of water or, coffee or, snacks. It's just all that $5, $10, $20, $25. It all helps us and to achieve, what we do to make this project just run smooth. Yeah. And, so we appreciate, like I said, I have a lot of people that have approached me, and they said, wow, what a cool project. I can't wait to see it. Well, if you can't wait to see it,
help make it happen.
Just put a little donation in the box, and then it just gets us closer to where we need to
Absolutely.
be.
I want to be
You know?
respectful of time because I know John's gotta take off.
So Dave,
But-
me and John, for the next person, if we go look on that Kickstarter and someone donates $50 in the next 10 minutes, me and John will yell your name out in the snow.
That's right.
We will
right.
mention you in the snow.
Yes.
All right.
I'm pissed.
And if you donate $15, we'll buy John a space heater so he will be warm when he does it too. So
Yes.
here you go.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking of the outdoor parts of this. I kind of blocked out of my mind that we could possibly be out in January in New Hampshire outside.
Yeah. What was I thinking, right?
We cannot have any overnights. Cannot.
Well,
Anyway,
everybody, make sure you check out Shiver _ slang all night on Instagram. Get on the Kickstarter. Give some support to this indie film. It sounds like an exciting project. And hope to hopefully have an update. Keep me posted so I can keep our viewers and listeners posted. And maybe we can even do round 2 as the movie's filming and see where things are at. But thank you guys for spending this time with me and sharing about the project. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Dave, for having us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next week. Have a good night. See you later.
Game over. You lose.